Today's guest has mastered the art of short-form content.
Not to flex, but I'm pretty fucking good at social media marketing.
Always ahead for her age, she bought her first real estate property at 15 years old, got married at 16, and now at 20 is generating millions of dollars a year on Instagram. Okay, so Ava, you just turned 20. How much money did you make last month?
$700K.
In this episode, we'll break down her secrets to achieving consistent virality on social media.
Step one, I would go to the Instagram Explore page, type in my niche. I would save like 100 videos, over 1 million views.
Unveil the blueprint for becoming the dominant voice in any niche.
Step two, take the hooks from those videos, and I would write 30 scripts with those viral hooks, but my own niche expertise.
And explore the viral secrets top creators don't want you to know.
Step three, I would
Ava Juergens. Welcome to the Jack Neel Podcast.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. Yeah. Ava just came in from Las Vegas. She was at acquisition.com workshop with Alex and Layla Hormozi. So yeah, pretty cool to have you here. I was just telling you before, I've been a big fan of her content for a while. I think the advice she gives on Instagram is super pertinent for short form content and just seeing her growth. I mean, how many followers have you gained in the past 2 years?
My business Instagram is 2 years old. So it's like 0 to 500K on that Instagram.
And she also has really good business model that's generated her a lot. And she's 20 years old, which is very rare to be making this kind of money at 20, but we'll get into that. So Ava, what's the most amount of money you've made from an Instagram reel?
Basically how it works, just the funnel to explain it. If someone watches a video and at the end of the video, I'm like, hey, comment XYZ, and I will send you information about my service. So we had one of our videos where we basically explained how to grow an Instagram from scratch, and it got 7.9 million views, 13,000 leads. And if people sign up with me, I do like a monthly reoccurring done for you service. They're paying anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000 a month to work with me. So we got a lot of clients. Obviously not all 13,000 of those comments converted, but we got a lot of clients, and I want to say $2 million in annual revenue from that one video.
Got it. So you got roughly how many clients from that video? It was about 100, 200?
I want to say 100 something. But yeah, they basically turn into reoccurring revenue clients. Annually, that'd be $2 million.
Interesting. So that one video, when was that posted?
August of 24.
August 24. Okay. So almost a year ago. And wow. So from that first video, how long had you been doing Instagram, that new brand up until that point? Was that just a few months in?
Yeah. Oh, that was a year in. I was sitting around probably 100K followers, but that probably brought in also 200K followers and a ton of leads. So that really, really took off, the Instagram and the business.
Now, how many clients would you say you service with the business?
Yeah, we service around, let's say, 350 to 400.
Interesting. Okay. And then what do you do for each of those people?
Yeah, so for the Done For You service, basically we spend 10 to 12 hours every single month researching the top performing short form content in that client's niche. And we only work with business owners. And then we take that research, and they have to fill out onboarding documents in the beginning. And we create viral scripts out of the viral hooks we research, the topics that clearly work. And then we just make the value of the video kind of specific to them, what they teach and everything. And then they film the videos, we'll take them back, we'll edit them, and then we post them for the client. So it's a monthly service where we're either making 15, 20, or 30 reels for them. And it's primarily Instagram reels, but we'll also repurpose on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, all the short form platforms.
So essentially, one video converted to about $2 million a year in revenue.
Yes.
And then from there, you've kind of just been maintaining and growing that amount of clients and trying to scale your systems to service as many people as possible. How many people would you say are on your waiting list that you can't service, but you have leads for?
We actually don't have a waiting list.
Okay.
We have a ton of SOPs. So when we hire someone, we're able to onboard really quickly. But yeah, we basically just have a ton of SOPs. So it's not something that we have to build out a wait list for, but we are pretty selective. I would say we're more selective now than before of just what niches we work with. just to make sure they're all like very solid ones that have grown on social before. So like personal trainers, dog trainers, or just like any niche that has kind of case studies or social proof that we've already done, or just like on social media already that we know can grow.
It's just fascinating. I just don't understand how you can scale to that many people and maintain quality. But it's obvious that you have, because these people stay on recurring revenue. Like how many employees do you have?
A lot. So we have a mix of 1099 contractors and W-2. So it's over 100 right now.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So it's a lot of people.
100 people. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then when you first started the business, were you like, how many employees did you have before that video took off? Like, were you kind of scrambling to just fulfill as many people as possible?
I would say we had like 30, but we were like pretty comfortable then. But then once that video came out, we had to hire really quickly. But I will say with any agency, like you have to learn to keep quality up at that scale. Like it's definitely been a learning curve, and I've definitely made mistakes, but I've learned so much, and I have obviously so many SOPs now, so many managers in place, just so many, I guess, points to check quality. But yeah, a lot of quality control has been implemented, and a lot of just extra positions just to make sure it stays the same, because it can get bad really quick if you're not careful.
Yeah, it seems like you're more focused on maintaining the clients that you have than trying to get new ones.
Yes.
Is that the case?
Yes. Yeah, for sure now that's where I'm at. Just trying to retain them as best as possible, get them the best results. Obviously, I want to grow, of course, but you got to care more about the clients you have than the clients you can get.
Okay, so Ava, you just turned 20, what was it, 2 months ago? 3 months ago?
March, like end of March, so 2-3 months, yeah.
How much money did you make last month?
I want to say $700K.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. It just throws me off every time people like say these numbers. You made $700,000 last month. And then are your expenses high for your business?
I want to say they're a little bit under 50% of revenue. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty average for an agency.
Yeah, so you're making $700,000 a month at 20 years old, which is ridiculous. When did this kind of journey start for you? I'd love to just kind of know like what were you like in high school? What were you like in middle school? Have you always been a scrappy entrepreneur? How did you find success at a young age?
Yeah, I'm so different from when I was 14. But originally, like going into high school, all I kind of cared about was like my friends. I had straight A's, like I was a good student. I wanted to be successful, but I didn't really think about being a business owner for when I was that age. But then I don't remember, or actually I do. So my social studies teacher, when I was 15, he started talking about Andrew Carnegie and like him just being scrappy and starting his own company and being so successful after being like growing up so poor. It just was so inspirational. So I just searched up on Google, like how to be successful or something stupid. And like the best books to read to be successful. And then that's when Rich Dad, Poor Dad popped up. So then I was 15, I didn't have my license. So I made my sister drive me to Target after school. And I got that book. And then when we got home, my dad was home, which was super weird. But he had like a mask on and we were like, crap. And he had COVID. So this was like right when the pandemic was starting. But we had a quarantine for a week, so I was off of school, and I read that book probably like 2 days in, and I was dating my boyfriend at the time. He was my boyfriend, Ben, and I made him read it right away, and then we were like, oh my God, like why wait until we're 18? Why don't we just start a real estate investing company now? So we did, which was so hard to do when we were teenagers, but we basically direct mailed, we cold called every day after school. Because we went the off-market route trying to find properties to do like long-term rental investments. And eventually, after 3 months of doing that every single day, we finally got someone to say yes. And we got a duplex it's like right outside of Milwaukee. And that was our first investment. And then we kind of did that all throughout of high school, where we got short-term rentals and long-term rentals. But it was, I always say this, but like real estate's pretty miserable. Because like you're talking to people on the phone who like you're trying to get them to like sell you their house.
Yeah.
And they like hate you, obviously. Like you get called a vulture, you get screamed at, and like it's just not fun. But after high school, so I graduated after my junior year, I just went full time into real estate and I started posting just short form content on social media about it and just being young in business and like as a teenager in real estate. And like within the first month, I got like 50,000 followers just from posting short form content. And then I just realized it was so much better than real estate. And I was like, wow, I could probably do this for other business owners. Because building your personal brand back in 2022 when I graduated, that's when it's like really started kicking off and became like the term personal brand. So I started doing that for other people and just cold outreaching with like my Instagram account, just to business owners I saw online. And I got a few clients and I kind of started off just like editing for them, just the shorts. But then that eventually turned into me starting my business Instagram, then building out the full done for you offer. And that's like the only service I have now. We're just dialed in on making that perfect. But that is kind of how that all happened.
Got it. So let me back up a bit on the real estate. Where did you get the capital to kind of invest in these properties?
So Ben, I forget where I think it was just YouTube, like Ryan Pineda on YouTube, if you're familiar with Ryan. He posted a video about couch flipping where it's basically you find a couch on Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap. You buy it, you clean it up, you just take better pictures, and then you put it back out. And we were making like $300 to $500 just flipping couches on Facebook an hour, I would say. $300 to $500 an hour. But the only problem with that is like you have to wait for the couches to come on. But we did that the entire summer. So we got like a good chunk of cash that we were able to use because properties outside of Milwaukee, like they're not like a lot. They're not what people are used to. They're anywhere from like 100 to 200K. So you don't need a huge down payment, but in order to buy it, you have to like co-sign if you're our age because we were under 18. But there's like different ways you get creative, co-signing or getting an LLC in like your parents' or guardian's name, and then eventually getting that when you're 18. So.
And were your parents involved in real estate, like investments?
No, they are not. Like, I mean, they have a house, but not for investing.
Got it. Do you mind me asking, like, what line of business are they in?
Yeah, so my mom was a teacher, and then my dad, he W-2 up until I was 10, and then he started his own company. It's pretty boring, but it makes money. So it's basically, he makes phase converters, which is like if you have a frozen yogurt shop and you want to plug your big frozen yogurt machines in like an outlet, it won't work because it needs so much power. You can't just plug it in a regular outlet. So you get a phase converter to get more power, and then you can plug it in that and it will work. So that's basically what it is. But he makes like big electrical machines for like bigger businesses. Yeah.
And then your boyfriend, now husband, Ben, you basically made a video when you were 14 saying that you were going to marry your current husband.
Yeah. So I remember when I first saw Ben in the math hallway, I was like, wow, this is the most muscular, hot dude I've ever seen. And we were like 14. So I was like, wow. So 2 weeks later, he was my boyfriend, of course. Just kidding. But yeah, we hit it off right away. Thing with Ben is like, it was just never awkward. We were friends right away, and he's like such a socially awkward guy. So it was weird that like he felt the same way. But yeah, Ben's my best friend. And then what was the video you made? Yes. So that was probably like a month into our relationship. I was just like, my mom recorded a video while my friends were over, and I was like, I'm going to marry Benjamin William Otto. And we just had that play at our wedding.
Play this at my wedding. Here, play this at our wedding. Play this at our wedding. This is me at 14 years old on December 8th on a Sunday in 2019. And I'm telling you, I'm a freshman, by the way. And I'm telling you right now that I'm getting married to Ben Otto.
So that video was when I was 14. We got engaged at 16 and then married at 19. So we just played that video at our wedding. But I posted that on social media, and I think that is probably my most viral video because it got 50 million on Instagram, like 60 million on TikTok, and it got like in People magazine. We went on the news for it. But yeah, it was pretty crazy. Interesting. Is that the video that kind of got you into social media, or did you post that
just kind of randomly after you were making real estate related content?
That video specifically was like me reacting to that video at my wedding. Reaction content does so well, especially in like real life situations like that. So I think that is why that went viral. And like, I don't edit my videos, but we got our wedding footage back in October. And I was like, I know this is going to work. So I just edited it and I posted it after like 10 minutes and it did.
Was that the first viral piece of content you made, or had you gone viral before?
No, this is when my Instagram was already pretty built up. This was in like, I want to say September, October. So pretty recent, but that was like probably my biggest video.
Okay, so to get into some of the virality related stuff, because you service 300, 400 people on going viral consistently, what would you say is the number one mistake people make when trying to go viral on social media?
Yeah, so people just like, sometimes I always like to say everyone thinks they're a great marketer, but they will just post videos that they come up with and kind of expect it to go viral. And then eventually when it doesn't, they'll just give up. But the thing with content is there are so many case studies out there of people in your niche that have already gone viral. And what you can do is you can just search up your niche in the Instagram Explore page and you can click accounts and you can find like the top 10 to 20 people in your account or like in your niche. You go to their accounts and you basically want to look for videos, like we call them outlier videos, but it's basically videos that just get a significantly amount or how should I word this?
Like a higher amount of views than their average.
Yes.
Perhaps.
So like I do what's called the 5X rule. So I'm like, okay, if it gets 5X views than the account's followers, that's like a viral video in my mind. So we'll add all of those to a spreadsheet from their page. And then we will write out like the hooks. We'll write out how many views it got, the topic of the video, like the format it was filmed in. And we'll do that for like 10 to 20 videos for each creator, for those 10 to 20 creators. So you're getting a list of like few hundred reels that are like the best performing in your niche. And then you just use the hooks and the topics from those videos in your own content, but make the value your expertise and like your actual actionable, valuable advice. And that is what works. And even still, like when you're starting a new account, you can do that. But the first little bit, you just have to like push through and get through because it's a slow growth, like when you are starting a new account. But if you stay consistent and you do that method, you will grow a lot faster than just trying to post whatever you want to do.
And what have you learned about social media virality, like in the past few months that maybe you didn't realize a year ago, 2 years ago? Like what's been new, or has everything kind of been the same for a while?
I would say obviously content's always changing. But I would say probably the importance of like the three main hooks. So there's like visual hooks. So what you see in the first 3 seconds, there's written hooks, what you read in the first 3 seconds of a video. And then there's the verbal hook. So what someone says in the first 3 seconds. So using all three hooks and optimizing those. And then also it's something we call formats. So like if you look at short form content, subconsciously you don't realize it when you're scrolling, but if you intentionally scroll, you'll see some people use like a whiteboard. We call that whiteboard format, where they're like maybe revealing things under paper on a whiteboard. Or we have like talking back and forth format, where like two people might be dressed, or one person is dressed up as two different people and they're like doing a little skit talking back and forth. Or there's talking head, where you're just talking straight to the camera. Or there's audio B-roll, where there's like a trending audio and then there's text on the screen. But there's a ton of different formats. And what I love to do is if I ever get a viral video, I will just recreate it in different formats. And it usually does very well.
Which of those formats would you say is the most valuable? Like if you could only be really exceptional at one, and you wanted to use it to grow your business, what would you say is the most valuable?
I would say the people who can consistently go viral and have the best personal brands, like do talking form. Because I would say like if you look at an audio B-roll video versus a talking form video, you always get more followers, more likes, more engagement, more leads through talking form videos, even if they get less views. But I would say anyone who can go viral just talking to the camera, that's like the best, because it's the least engaging. So if you can do well with it, that means like what you're saying is super valuable, and people don't need like all the ADHD things to like stay on your video.
Yeah, it's interesting. I see like this big emphasis on short form content, particularly among business owners, where they're like, oh, we need to have like the best edits, like and like the best graphics, etc. But does editing really go far in a video?
No, I would say like if I had to rank things, I would say it's the hook, then the script, then the format, and then probably the editing.
Interesting. Okay. And then of the hooks, you said visual hook, written hook, auditory hook.
I would say it used to be verbal, but now it's visual because, I mean, people have always listened to things on mute, but now like if you're scrolling, there's so many people doing so many things and like so many visual hooks, so you have to have a good one too if you want to make people stop.
And what goes into a good visual hook? And like what really makes people stop scrolling on Instagram?
Yeah. So I would say there's a ton of different visual hooks. And like some people think like, oh, I have to do something crazy, but you can literally, it can just be like you sitting down in a chair, like just a motion. Or like what we do a lot for clients is like, if we're doing like a personal trainer, this is how my client went from 150 to 130 pounds in XYZ time, and like have actual like pictures of the clients before and after on the screen. So that could be a visual hook, or like a above angle. So it's like the camera's up here instead of just like right here. So it doesn't have to be that complicated, but we just usually, when we're scrolling, if we ever see a new one that follows the 5X rule, we'll just add it to our little sheet, but there's just a ton you can do.
And for you specifically, because I would imagine when you do this type of service business, you can't teach someone all the factors that go into a video. Like you can give them the script, the research, maybe an idea of the format, visual hook, etc. But like, do you think about your clothes? Do you think about like your hairstyle? Do you think about like the tonality of your voice for certain things? Like how many factors and variables are at play?
Yeah. Like I would say that's kind of the hardest part. Everyone, like we kind of leave the tone and well, we'll ask clients if they want like their scripts to be funny or more professional, serious, like an authority, but tone and like how you dress, I mean, tone's important, but like how you dress and stuff like that, like it's probably things we care about less. But when we give a client a script, we basically at the top, we have like 3 different sections. It's like the notes section, which gives a breakdown of like what format it is and how to film that format. Then we have the script section, and it's just, we put the script in bullets. And how we have clients film is we're like, look at a bullet and then say it to the camera, and then look at the other bullet, then say it to the camera, and we'll cut out all the pauses. And then we have the caption, which is just the caption we put on the platforms.
And then the subtitles, how important are like good subtitles for videos?
I mean, I would say back in the day, they were like more important, but now like it just doesn't really matter. I feel like a lot of people are tired of like crazy stuff, but it's important to have captions because so many people listen. Like I think it's 80 to 90% of people listen to content on mute. So it's like you kind of have to have them. And
there's also like if you're on Facebook or Instagram, particularly, a lot of people are international. So it's like easier for them to read English also. It's really interesting. As far as like gaining followers, like what's the most amount of followers you've gained from a video?
It's probably that one video I was talking about earlier. I want to say we got 100K from that video, which is insane. That's one video out of 2 years worth of posts. So it's not common, but you do get those outliers if you post over a really long time period.
What kind of content do you have to make to get more followers, would you say?
Yeah. So that video was like pure education, you know, how to start your Instagram, grow it from scratch, and like step-by-step value, like from the beginning up until the end. But that was like so valuable. So typically the videos that like are funny or memes, those will get you views, but they're not going to get you followers. Like people like to follow people who give them value. That's what I've found the most. So very valuable educational videos. And that's why I feel like Hormozi, for example, he's grown so quick because all of his stuff is so tactical. It's so actionable, even though it's kind of like more niche. Like he's not in like a Mr. Beast type of niche, obviously. So that's how you grow, especially when you're a business owner, just providing so much value.
And then how do you feel about the, like if I had to branch speaking content into some niches, it would be like motivational speaking content, entertainment, and then education. Like I've noticed that sometimes when I post more motivational content, that will like grow in followers. And then same with education, like you mentioned. But entertainment, kind of like you said, doesn't really gain that many followers. But how do you think about brand? Because it's called personal brand launch, and it's kind of like you're helping people go viral, get more leads. But how do you think about like the brand portion of things?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is one like I don't know. I think my perspective on brand has shifted a lot, especially that I've grown more. Like I'm a lot more protective about what I post now. I think before, like I was fine if I like posted funny posts and stuff, but now I just like want to make sure everything is super valuable. But I think I kind of follow a similar ideology as Hormozy when it comes to that, where it's like, have you ever heard him give the like flower bouquet analogy?
No.
It's basically like you have a bouquet of flowers and every single flower like kind of makes a certain like, what I like to phrase it is like you have your main niche, which is like, it could be fitness. And then you have like your sub niches, which is like weightlifting, cardio. Maybe it's like a fun one where it's like, I don't know, maybe you make like protein desserts or something. And whenever like people think about you, they just associate you with all these things. I think that's just kind of how I see a brand. When someone looks at someone or a company and they just associate it with certain things.
I guess more tactfully with you, I see like all your videos are very colorful. You usually wear like a comfy looking hoodie with comfy looking sweatpants. Like the captions look as though they're handwritten or something, or the subtitles. How do you think about like those things?
Yeah. So, I mean, brand's all about consistency. And I think really with social media, as long as you show up as like you'll be just on brand all the time. So like sweatsuits, I have a Nike sweatsuit in probably 15 different colors for summer and for winter, like each. So probably 30. I have sweatsuits. I have a black sweatsuit and like I have 5 versions of their black sweatsuit. I wear it so much. But that is on brand for me because that is just me.
Do you just like get really cold, or is Milwaukee super cold in
I'm
general?
cold all the time and I live in Wisconsin. So, wow, I just said that totally like.
Wisconsin.
But yeah, it's cold there all the time, but it's great. It's kind of like the weather here kind of reminded me of it, like 70, well, the UV's like 10. That's what we've been getting lately and it's been pretty nice.
Interesting. So, okay, just congruency in what you do day to day with what the social media looks like. Is there any part of your life that you don't kind of show on social media as much?
I mean, I pretty much talk about most parts of my life, but I would say my relationship is probably like the least I talk about, but I still bring it up sometimes.
And you were telling me that Ben also runs a business. I'm just curious to hear about his business as well.
Yeah, so Ben started a lawn and landscape company when he was 13. Now he also has snow plowing for the winter. But yeah, he is kind of like the same deal. He gets like reoccurring mowing clients. So it's like a good reoccurring revenue. He has 3 crews that just go out and do the stuff. And then he does like landscaping projects as well. So those can be like 10 to 25K jobs.
And then what's kind of your guys' routine, or like what does your daily routine look like? I've seen you wake up at 3 a.m., have this really insane discipline.
Yeah. So it's even worse now. For the past year, I've probably woken up at like 12 a.m. every day because I'm a psychopath. But
12 a.m.?
Yeah. So I had so much work to get done before I came here. I woke up at 11:30 yesterday, 11:30 p.m.
That's when you woke up.
Yeah.
So you're pretty tired right now.
No, I'm good. I'm used to this.
Chilling. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I will get up at 12 a.m. I will work for about like 4 to 5 hours. And then I wake Ben up. And then we go to the gym. We'll lift. And then afterwards, we'll come back and he gets ready and leaves for work because obviously a lot of his stuff's out on the field and he's not completely out of his business yet. He still helps his landscaping crew a lot. So he's pretty much gone until 2. And then I'm home pretty much all day. In the morning, I'll do my deep work. And then during the day, I usually do a lot more admin tasks, management. Just kind of like what needs my attention at the moment. Because obviously when you're CEO, your days never really look the same. You just go where you're needed. But then around 3 is usually like when I'll start winding down. Ben will come home. He might have some like quotes later on. But I will just literally rot the rest of the day. I will read a book. I will watch TV. Or I'll hang out with Ben. Just because I usually stop when I'm kind of like burnt for the day.
So why do you wake up at midnight every day?
Honestly, I've just found, like, I've done a lot of different things, and that's just what I found works for me. Even though it sounds psychotic, I'm so used to it because I've been waking up since like at least 3 a.m. since I was 15, just to get the real estate stuff done before school. Or at the time, like when I first started, I was like the type who would read all the books before getting started. So I'm used to getting up early, but it's just the one time of day where nobody bugs me, not even Ben, like he's still sleeping, and I actually can just get everything done.
And what does your deep work look like the first 4 hours of your day?
It's just whatever's going to grow the business the most. So it might be making SOPs, it might be making content for PBL, like scripting, or it might be hiring, like going through applications. It just depends on like what's going to grow the business the most at that moment.
And like, what do you not outsource? Like, what are the things you do yourself? You said it's hiring, SOPs, like you actually go through and make the SOPs and you go through and hire every employee in the business?
Not as much anymore, but I would say with agencies in specific, if you don't use your agency, you have a problem. Like you need to use what you are trying to sell. So a lot of that stuff, like we even have our clients like review their own scripts to make sure it's good. Like I'll still review my scripts and stuff, make sure that's good, review like edits before they go out. But I would say for now, what I haven't outsourced yet is people creating the SOPs. Like I'm insane. It's like every single mouse click of a process I will have written down just so it's not messed up. And I have the written versions of every SOP and like also the video version of every SOP, like doing the process. So I have always done that, but I am in the process of hiring a director of operations, just someone who can do that.
And what have been the most important hires in your business that have like really scaled it?
Yeah. So I think with agencies, we were kind of talking about earlier, quality. When you scale an agency, I think your success is based off of the talent you hire. And a lot, especially because this industry is pretty new, like coming up in the past decade, it's really hard to find good people. So you just have to have good pay and a good team that's motivating each other. But I would say like the most important part of having a successful agency that's good at scale is just hiring really good people with very niche skill sets. So like ideation, for example, that's something I'm hiring for right now. And it's just something I've been trying for, I think, 2 months, but this is normal for these like niche roles. Just putting out an application every single weekend to try and find someone. And like, you'll always eventually find someone, but it's all about volume and just getting enough applications and just finding that one person.
Is that ideation for your brand or for your clients?
Clients, because I do a lot of it right now. And that's why I work so much.
So you're coming up with the ideas. So you're looking at the outliers and then kind of coming up with an idea based off that? Or what do you mean?
Yeah,
exactly?
So we have like researchers who will research it, and then I'll just review the client's onboarding document. I'll review the research and I'll kind of create ideas. So I'll do like, okay, this is what I want the hook to be. This is what I want the value to look like of the video. Now, here's also the format I want. And then we'll give it to the copywriters. But it's super unsustainable, like, because we have so many clients. So that's why I also kind of have to get up. But we're definitely looking to get people. But I'm not going to let that go until I find someone who's like me.
I would guess that a bottleneck you might have, and correct me if I'm wrong, is
such a bottleneck.
That the virality portion, like for your clients to get really good results, I would guess that the scripts that have done really well or the videos that have done really well, you've had at least some involvement in those particular scripts and like you reviewed them, or is that not the case?
No, it is. Because right now I'm in almost every script set like that we have that's going out. And like I think something as a business owner I've had to learn is like, I mean, I was out of the business for a while, but then I saw results drop after I got out. So I had to go back in, and now we have to hire. Like, I just have to be more intentional with hiring. But because we're missing that person right now, I'm still in every single day.
So that's 30 scripts for each client a month?
It's either 15, 20, or 30.
Okay. So 20 and then 400 clients. That's what, 8,000 scripts a month?
Yeah, it's like super unsustainable.
And do you like go through all those?
So basically, for the ones I can't do ideations on, I review after they're done, and I'll just make replacements if that's needed. Because like our copywriters are still like good at ideation, but like obviously I've been doing it like the most. I have the brand. So yeah, but if they have the hooks and they have the client, like they can still make great scripts, and then you just make some adjustments after. But I have one other person on my team, Jane. I love her. She is like the same skill set as me, and she helps a ton on the reviews. And she's the only other person I trust to like do that without my review after. But both of us combined, like we are both at our breaking point.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like what I'm impressed with your business is that you haven't gotten shiny object syndrome and been like, let me just drop a course. Let me drop something that everyone can buy a million times. And I'm sure you think about it every day when you're reviewing all these scripts, but like what's kind of kept you from doing that? Like looking at other options?
I know if I want to make this service like perfect before I ever do something else. Like I want to make it, I just want to be the go-to short form content, creation agency for business owners. And I just will not stop until that's the case. And that just means literally refining the product and making it better every single day. And until I feel like it's perfect, I probably won't do anything else. And I'm very like picky. Like yesterday, it's kind of an odd situation, but Adobe, they like wanted to become part of like the editing part of the service. But I just said no, even though it was a lot of money, and I mean, Adobe's great. But I just like, I don't want anyone to have any like control over it. Like I just want it to be mine, and I just want to make it perfect. But I don't want like any other service or product I could make to like take my time away from doing that.
So what are you guys using to edit the content?
We like DaVinci, Premiere Pro. I mean, we use a mix of different ones, but like basically we have editors we have out of like all of our 1099s, editors are the most, because like editing's so time consuming, and until AI can like fully do it, we still need a ton. And we just basically rank our editors like, okay, they can do basic edits, they can do medium edits, or they can do like really good ones. And then whatever, like we just have like we have a ton of different editing styles, and when a client comes on with us, they can choose from like a bunch, or they can find one off like on their own, and then we'll just do it. What's
the most common editing style people request? Is it like, oh, I want it to look like Iman Gadzhi or Alex Ramosi, or?
It used to be Alex, but I think it kind of went out of style, like his old captions, if you know what I'm talking about.
With the emojis and stuff.
Yeah. But now I would say a lot of people actually go for more simple captions. Like, you know what Leela does, where it's like kind of like on her talking head videos, she just does very simple captions, and people
like the little
that.
white ones. Okay.
Yeah. But we also have like a lot of other ones too, that people like that are more complex. But I wouldn't say it's like, they're not like, I can't think of anyone who like would, like, it's not like a Hormozy style. It's not one of the big ones, but they're just like kind of like their own customized ones that we get a lot as well. But yeah, they'll pick one of those, and then we will give we have like all the editing styles ranked, and then we'll just give, a basic edit to a basic editor, and kind of like medium edit to medium editor, and you get the idea. But we just have the editors use whatever they like, and as long as it looks like the reference, then it's fine.
So for someone who maybe can't afford your service, or like you couldn't work with them for whatever reason, what employees would they need to hire? What process would they need to do for growing their personal brand? Let's say they wanted to do just fitness educational content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically what I would do is obviously make your Instagram account. But I would say the first thing is I explained the research method earlier. So I would do that, but I would also do one other research method, which is you go on Instagram, go to the explore page, you hit the search bar, and then you just type in your niche. So if it was like dog training, you just type in dog training, or you could create I like to create 5 to 10 keywords that relate to that. And then once you search it, you click the Reels tab. And I wish I could show you this visually, but then you will just come across literally the most viral hooks in that niche. And if you scroll on that Reels tab after you do that keyword research, you want to look through all the videos that have over 1 million plus views and just save the hooks that you would use. And then typically what I do is I just make sure they follow the 5X rule, and then I'll add them onto a spreadsheet. And then those are Instagram SEO kind of sucks, but
it really does.
Yeah. I mean, TikTok's is really good compared to Instagram, but I don't like to use TikTok as a reference because Instagram is harder to go viral on. So I like to use Instagram for ideation better. But yeah, that's probably the research I would do along with finding the top 10 to 20 creators. And then after basically what I do for clients, I would just write probably a batch of 15 to 30 scripts with, the viral hooks, the viral topics, but with your own. This is so important. You don't want to copy viral videos. That will just make you look like a fraud. So you want to add your own value in the meat of the video. So your own actionable advice. So if you're a dog trainer, you want to show people how to teach their dog step-by-step how to sit. Or I saw this one girl do how I taught my dog to shut the door. And I thought it was the coolest thing. And she gave you the step-by-step advice. I don't hate, but when people give fluff, it just never works. I mean, it doesn't never work, but it just is a lot harder to go viral when you're giving fluff than opposed to actionable value that people can actually take away right away. So write scripts with your own expertise and experience on how to get, people XYZ result. Make 15 scripts, use different formats, test everything out on your account. So if you are starting from scratch, I like to try a bunch of different topics, a bunch of different formats in your niche. And then you post 50 to 100 videos. Try and post every single day. And then basically after 50 to 100 videos on a new account, you can kind of see, okay, what worked better, what formats worked better, what hooks worked well, what topics worked well. And then you just start doubling down on, those hooks, formats, and topics. And you just keep doing that over and over again, and you will grow over time.
I want to ask about 2 things. The first is the fluff portion. Can you define what you see as fluff in most content? Because this is something I have to help a lot of people with when they ask me for advice on their videos. But I'm not just cutting things that aren't valuable. I'm cutting things that aren't valuable and things that aren't interesting, both of those 2 things. But how do you think about it?
When I think of fluff, let's see, fluff to me, and I'm pretty picky. I like things to be really specific. But if I'm a personal trainer and I'm giving advice, I'm okay, walk every day, lift every day, eat healthy. But actionable value would be walk 10K steps every single day. Do this exact 4-day split. And then have them show the split. Or for calories, use this TDEE calculator online, subtract 200 to 300 calories. That's your calorie deficit. Eat this every single day. Eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat. It's very clear what they need to do. And they want to save that stuff because it's actually helpful. So it's that's what I would say fluff versus real value is.
Interesting. So just be as specific as possible and as helpful as possible. How about when you're telling a story? If you were to tell us the story of how you did this at 20 years old, what do you consider fluff in that instance?
So yeah, I consider educational content and storytelling content completely different.
Okay.
But basically in our client scripts, if they have the 20 scripts package, we will have 4 storytelling scripts and 16 educational. I think storytelling, they do well, but it can get repetitive, so we don't like to do as much. But people love my story videos or just how they grew or their personal transformation. Yeah, people love that stuff. And I wouldn't consider that stuff fluff if you're telling a story, but educational content is where you see the fluff, but storytelling is completely different. I think you can be a lot more like, as long as you're vulnerable and, you know, there's a good payoff at the end of your story, it could do really well. Because it's definitely been more popular lately.
If you could give us an example, like what's a story you find yourself telling all the time? Like when you meet people, like, here's how I grew this business.
It's the one I already told.
Yeah,
it's like because people always ask like, oh, how do you get into this? So I would just tell them like, oh, I started in real estate, posted content, did well, got into this. So yeah.
And why do you choose like those parts to include? Is there like any thought to that?
I would say mainly because they're all just vital to telling the story. Like I got into real estate and because I saw all these other big real estate people, like I want to start posting on social media. It did really well. And I was like, wow, real estate sucks. This is fun. I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah, I did notice how you crafted the story. I was like, it's very interesting, like the parts she left out, but it's the most crucial thing needed to understand it well. Another thing I wanted to ask about with your clients. So you do 15 to 30 videos for them a month. Do you ever think that if you did like a couple videos for them, like the more experienced one, if you just did like 4 really good videos, that would be better? And just like, how do you think about quality versus quantity in general?
Yeah, I think about that all the time. I would say like, I try to treat the 30 videos like I was doing 4. If that makes sense. Like, I don't like to give a client a script unless I feel proud of it. And that makes it so much more time consuming. But I do think like, if you really did just hone in on 4, I think personally, I wouldn't like that because you're not testing as much. You're not seeing what works as much. So I think it might actually be worse. Because if you can just test a bunch and then just study what works and then double down on that, like, I think that's way better. And
when do you ever like, are there any videos that you put a significant amount of time into that it's been worth it? Or is it usually just not worth it?
I would say like every single one of my videos, there was so much time into it. But I think the videos I spend the most time are when I find like real life examples of the point I'm trying to make. Because like you have to go find the case studies and leave really good editing notes and stuff. But it always makes it worth it because people get the visual and they can actually see it. And it's not just like words they're hearing. So I would say it's worth it.
And then tell me about some of your clients that you've worked with. What have been like some crazy success stories? I'm guessing this is the case, but do any of your clients make like significantly more money than you from the service?
Yeah. So there's one in particular. There was this one I was nervous to take on. His name's Carl. And he's like an older gentleman, probably like 65. He has like 10 kids, but that's not relevant. I just think it's cool. But yeah, he is in the franchise niche. And the reason I was nervous was because I don't know anyone in the franchise niche. I tried to do research and like there wasn't really anyone. So I was like skeptical, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to, really, really try on these. And like, I basically just researched other niches and tried to convert it to his.
And franchising is
like he basically is a franchise broker. So he works with like a ton of popular franchises and then he works with clients and tries to get them or like suggest certain franchises that would work for them. And if they start it, he gets a commission. So
like Wendy's, Chick-fil-A or like what kind of franchises?
Yes, like those, but not Chick-fil-A. They're like very like in-house kind of and very selective. But like I'm trying to think like Great Clips, Molly Maid. There are some restaurants, but can't really think of it off the top of my head. But then basically what we did is because he was starting from scratch too. But we looked at like a ton of different niches, as I said, did research and then converted them over to his. And we did like videos like McDonald's or Burger King or like Krispy Kreme or Dunkin' and like just like those comparison videos. I would say, well, we posted like 3 months worth of content and we were like under 100 followers. And I was like, what the heck? But it's also just kind of part of having a new account. So then on our fourth month, we got our first viral video. I think like 9 million views. And it was breaking down how much you make owning a McDonald's franchise, I think. And we took that exact video script and format and then just replaced the restaurant in it. And it just kept going viral and viral. So then we also took that original viral video and we made it into an audio B-roll video. And that one got like 10 million views. And we have just kind of started replicating that format and then like pinning two different franchises against each other to show you what makes more money. And like those three things consistently go viral for him. So now that we have that, we just every single month script videos that are different versions of that with a CTA that leads to, his like franchise broker stuff. So yeah, and he like basically makes like $60K for every single person he gets, and he gets like hundreds of leads. So,
and what does he do exactly? Like he'll take someone and be like, "You'd be good for this franchise," and broker the deal, or
so like his target audience is people who are in 9-to-5 like manager positions and could just manage their own franchise.
Do you know how much he's doing roughly?
No, I don't. But I know like sometimes he'll just text me like, "Oh, we got 5 deals this week," and that's like
$300K. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Jeez. And then has there been any other success story that stands out to you, like someone that took a while to grow?
I would honestly say, I mean, I have some that like grew really quick, some that took a while, but I would say another person that took a really long time was myself. When I first started I have like a personal account and then a business account. And I started posting the social media stuff on my personal account. And it just like wasn't aligned with my business content, so it didn't do well. And you'll find that when you try to post a new niche on a profile you already built up surrounding a niche, it just doesn't work. So I started a different business Instagram for personal brand launch, and I think 3 months it was the same thing, just like under 100 followers, posting every day. And then the 4th month, I got my first viral video, and same deal. It's just the same thing that happens every time when you make a new account. Takes a while, but you'll eventually get your first viral video, and then you just double down on that. That is how you grow a page.
Is there anything ultra specific that feels like a hack on social media? Like anything with trial reels, anything you're doing with testing on TikTok? Like I know a lot of people do multiple pages for testing with different types of hooks, like a bunch of crazy stuff. But is there anything like that you've looked at recently?
I wouldn't say recently, but I think for a long time, we were one of the, not the first agency, but we were one of the, I guess, first short form agencies to really take research serious. Like we have always been doing like 10 to 12 hours of research a month to like every single month too. It's not like just the first month. And like we just do that religiously so we can study what works. And we also just double down on what works, and researching and doubling down on what works for that person. It just does wonders. That's like all you need to do.
It's funny you say this. I mean, I'll probably cut this out, but maybe not. Just like a lot of the secret sauce of why this podcast is done well is because I noticed I asked all the other big podcasters because I kind of knew them. It's like, how much research do you do like to craft the clips ahead of time? And they're like, oh no, we don't even think of it like that. I'm like, oh, well, you can just find a guest. Like, let's say you went on another podcast, had a viral clip, just take the exact same hook and get them to retell the story differently. No one does that. Can you believe that? It's been a major attribution to any views I've gotten on this podcast, but I definitely agree with you that research goes a long way.
And for YouTube specifically, do you like, I think YouTube and short form can be really similar, but people will find like outliers on like even smaller pages and then like use those titles and thumbnails. Do you ever do that?
100%.
Yeah. I think that's so important.
Definitely. The thumbnail outliers is where this all started. Like view stats by Mr. Beast has been super helpful for coming up with stuff. But
is that like, so on Instagram, we have like something called sort feed. And it's like, it like will automatically sort someone's videos on their profile. Oh, that's maybe my hack then.
Yeah.
So there's this thing, it's called this sort feed extension. It used to be free. It's like, it turned like $40 for like, it's a lifetime. Like you'll get it for your life if you pay $40 and it's so worth it. But if you go on someone's Instagram page and you click Reels, you can click the little puzzle piece in the corner of your screen and you can basically select, 100, 500, all of their Reels, and it will sort them from most to least viral.
We use this, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Did you make a video about this?
Yeah.
That's why I use it, for sure.
I use it every day. Yeah, it's awesome. But is like that what view stats is for YouTube?
View stats is a little more interesting. But that tool is really helpful because no one has built anything for Instagram that can sort the videos. And then TikTok recently came out with a thing where you can sort people's profiles by most liked or most viewed, etc. But view stats, like you can search, like a good example, I had this thumbnail of a guy holding up a hoodie and it said $500 million a year because like he has a brand called Comfort Clothing that makes $500 million a year.
I have like literally 7 of their sweatsuits.
That's interesting. I was wondering if you wore those because like, yeah.
I wear Nike for like videos, but I have a ton of theirs.
Yeah, Comfort's nice. But essentially we took that thumbnail and then post it on view stats and it will show other things of people holding up hoodies or holding up t-shirts with text on them. And then we kind of reorganize the thumbnails based on the outliers. Or if you, I don't know, search certain keywords like body fat, it'll show all the outliers for body fat. And then you can make it specific to a podcast. But yeah, I mean, if I use it for short form content too, because if you go on YouTube, find an outlier, you can kind of take that as a visual hook. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do that too, actually. I'll find like those on YouTube where they have like, obviously they went very viral for like a small account, and we will use like their thumbnails can be really great visual hooks, or like their titles can be good verbal hooks or written hooks.
How important is the thumbnail for Instagram?
Not important. I mean, like, yeah, people might see it on the explore page and click it, but like, I've never like intentionally made a thumbnail in my life.
And then, so you're 20, you make $700,000 a month. How do you invest this money?
Yeah, I invest it into index funds.
Boring answers are the best. Index funds. Gotcha. And that's it? Nothing else?
I mean, obviously, like, I don't take out much money from the company. I take out, me and Ben split our expenses, and it's like $2,500 a month each for each of us. And then I also take out $5,000 to invest in index funds, because if I invest until I retire, which I'll never retire, but if I invest until like, I don't know, let's say like 65, then I will have 25 million. If I just keep investing my $5,000 into index funds, and I could double that, and I could do 10 grand a month, and I'd probably retire with like double if I start now. So it's boring, but it works. Yeah.
So, okay. That's pretty frugal, I would say, to have
it
$5,000.
It is, but I live in Wisconsin. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Just you see all these other 20-year-old millionaires like doing all this crazy stuff, traveling the world, spending $100,000 at the club or on villas, etc. Has that just never like aligned with you or anything? Like, is there anything that you purchased that was material that was a bit expensive?
Honestly, never. I mean, like, besides like the investment properties, but I drive like a mediocre car, live in a mediocre ranch. I don't know. I buy like Instacart groceries. I don't know. We do have a nice like gym membership, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, I think I will. I mean, I don't know why. Like, I've been investing the same amount even when we made like $50,000 a month. So I just need to up that. But yeah, I don't really care about that stuff. I do want a nice house one day, but I think part of me is also just like, wow, that's like what I want is probably really expensive.
What keeps you from getting a house right now?
I don't know. I think it's just like I've never bought something big and nice like that for myself. So I think part of me just isn't ready.
Yeah, I'm big on not getting a house right now because it just seems like less convenient for the business, you know, because if you're like in an apartment, all the things are taken care of, all the amenities. Like our place, for instance, we have a gym that's like you walk out of our door and then it's the door to the gym. So I'm just like all about efficiency. She really wants a house though. But no crazy lavish expenses. What's like something you've purchased that like since you've had some money that's been helpful for like investing in you, you know, like walking treadmill.
Oh yeah.
Like personal chef, like anything like that.
I will say like once we started making money, we never shop. Like it's all Instacart, DoorDash, Uber Eats. I will say we do because like some of that stuff the business will pay for. Also all my sweatsuits, my walking treadmill for sure. I walk. So I like to walk. I like to get it over with. I'm all about getting things over with. That's what I think about. So I'll walk 4 miles right when I get up when I'm working, just to get it done. And then probably our gym membership. We do want a home gym. So that'll probably be like our next big thing. So that'll probably be like a couple of tens of thousands. But yeah, that's all I can really think of.
Were you guys athletes in high school?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't. I've always like went to the gym. I think I started freshman year and I always just did like either a 4 or 6 day split. And then Ben in high school, he wrestled a ton. He did like club and then he also did school. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like Ben Askren, but he's like the only big wrestler from Wisconsin, but he has like his academy. So Ben like went there. And so he was really good at wrestling and went to state every year. And then also football. He loved football, but not like enough to ever go to like college for it or anything or make it worth it to go to college. But yeah, so he always did sports and then now we just go to the gym together.
And what's kind of your mission or goal with all of this?
Long term, I really do like what Alex and Leela do. But like where they, obviously they're in private equity and they work with a lot of businesses and help them grow and invest in them. Potentially that with Ben. But I don't know, like right now we're just really loving growing our own companies. But I know I probably want to have all like his business and my business and other businesses under a portfolio in the future. But that's probably 5 years from now we'll start.
So you plan on doing the exact business you're doing right now for 5 more years?
I can't promise that, but like I'll for sure own it for a long time. But I don't want to be doing like daily what I'm doing right now in 5 years. I want to grow. I want to get out of that. I feel like I went really hardcore back into working in the business and I need to get back out of it once we get the right people. So that's like my goal within the next 6 months. But yeah, long term, I don't want to just do this forever. I see bigger things. I want to be a billionaire. I do. I think that's just like a goal because I know I can do it. Not even for like the money because obviously I don't even buy stuff now, but just to prove to myself that I can.
Okay. Would you sell the business you have right now? I know there's interesting multiples on service business. Is it like 2 to 3x of yearly revenue or?
Agencies, it's 6 to 9.
It's 6 to 9. I guess it's recurring. Okay. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, if you have contracts.
I was thinking of coaching businesses for some reason. That's a little less. That's actually services.
I actually learned that at the workshop yesterday.
6 to 9x. Okay. So what would be your goal revenue with this business before you sold it?
Oh, I want to build this to at least like, I want to sell it for, if I did, for at least 100 million. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I think the money excites me less than like being the best for short form content for business owners. But I know if we are, we'll just make a ton of money.
Interesting. And what do you think would, aside from removing yourself from the day-to-day stuff, like what do you think would 10x the business?
Just time. I mean, it's already growing so quick. Like after that video in August, we were growing, like we grew, I think like 200K just that month in recurring revenue. And like with social media, you just have the power to do that with your business. So we can grow it fairly quickly, but to 10x it, yeah, it's just time and consistency.
Have you thought about moving to Puerto Rico with that much cash flow?
Why?
Well, Puerto Rico, I learned this recently from a guest. It's the only place in the US you can move to, like keep your residency and you pay, I think it's 3% income tax and then 0% capital gains. Maybe it's 6%, but I don't know what it is in Wisconsin, but it'd probably be like 40%, 50% a year goes to the IRS. But
yeah, it's 40%.
So Puerto Rico's 3%.
Wow.
Yeah. If some really wealthy people live there. It's a nice place. I would recommend checking it out. There's like this place called Dorado there. And it's, do you know the Ritz-Carlton? Like,
yeah.
It's essentially like built by them. And you just basically live in this like Dorado bubble of like all these nice amenities, et cetera. And it's not too expensive to live there. It's fairly cheap. And yeah, you don't pay any taxes. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I like my quarterly tax bill is like multiple hundreds of thousands. It sucks.
Yeah. LA's pretty rough too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Definitely want to get out of here. But I'm like big on if I think I can make more money in Los Angeles than like a place like Texas or Las Vegas at this stage, just because primarily because I host a podcast and a lot of people come through here.
Yeah.
People usually come through Vegas, Los Angeles, and Miami, but the other parts of the country they don't really come to. But someone told me I could move to Puerto Rico and fly people out and it would be cheaper. And I was like, this is true. I wanted to ask about ManyChat in general because you're kind of one of the first people to use it super effectively. Like, what's your ManyChat system secret sauce on that?
That actually reminds me, like, this is random, but I've gotten like reached out to by ManyChat to work with them a lot, but I just like literally anything that will take me away from PBL will like, I just won't do it. But anyway, I use them because I love them, but I never like will do affiliates or anything. But ManyChat, like, do you want me to break it down just in case?
Yeah, for sure.
So basically what ManyChat is when people say as like a call to action on Instagram, comment the word cake and I'll send you, you know, whatever. So it's when you like share like lead magnets with people or, you know, freebies, landing pages about your service. And it's like the best way to get leads from Instagram because people will just comment that word and then they will get automatically sent a DM from you to that link.
How do you use it differently than other people, like in a more effective way? Like, is there anything like in the funnel specifically?
Yeah, so I would say like I think a big part of like why I grew really fast during some periods is because like sometimes I just use ManyChat a lot more and I'll create a lot more freebies. And especially when you create a really, really good freebie that like was clearly like it took you a lot of time and it's not just something that you can make in ChatGPT or something you can like is a Google search away. Like those are so valuable. And
what's an example of one of yours?
Yeah. So I think one of them that took me so long was it's called an 1,000. It was like it's a freebie with 1,000 hooks. So it's like 1,000 videos that follow the 5X rule that are like good educational content examples from business owners. And then like those hooks templatized so people can use them themselves. So like it has the link to the viral video and then the templatized hook for 1,000. And that like actually making that probably taught me the most about content I've ever learned. But yeah, that took probably like 300 hours to make because you had to scroll. Like I had a bunch saved of reels I love and a huge bank of those, but I was super selective about what I put on the freebie. I probably scrolled through like 20,000 videos to find, you know, the other like 700 I needed.
That's a really good one because I saw people after you did that start selling ebooks of that. And
yeah, it's probably mine. Literally copied and pasted.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing about a lead magnet is people can just monetize it differently than you and steal it because you're giving it away for free. Huh. Do you run any ads?
No. Yeah.
Jesus, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you just like what's the, I might cut this out, but just like my genuine curiosity is like, what's keeping this from like being bigger? Like, do you have too many leads and you can't like fulfill on all of them?
It's really just about me getting out. Because like right now, like I will always work as much as needed to get it done, but like there's only so much I can work. So
why don't you charge more?
I could. I don't know. I mean, I raise my prices quite frequently. So I've raised them they probably doubled in the past 6 months.
So it's $6,000 now or?
No, I want to say year. So it used to be like half of what it is now. But also we've built out the service a little bit more. So like we like to do, for example, like we'll do set up ManyChat for you. And we had to add like customer success managers. So we added in like milestones, check-in calls, because that's what people really wanted. So it's built out more. So we also had to charge more. But the price has probably doubled in the past year. But like, I don't know. I feel like we're at a good price point, but I know I could charge more if I wanted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I tried to sell like a similar thing. I just tried to sell the coaching aspect. And like I was trying to charge people like 70, 80, like 90K packages over like 6 months. Because I had a lot of success coaching people in the past. But essentially what I realized was the price wasn't an issue for them, but what they wanted was services. So I was like, I could literally sell like services similar to yours for like $80K. So I just like, I think I got on a call with one of your sales reps way back just to see what the pricing was. And I was like, it's only $3,000. There hasn't been anyone that you've sold like a super high ticket package to?
No. I like anytime someone comes to me for like coaching or anything, like I hate calls. I don't do calls. Like even this is like wild for me. So I try to do calls as little as possible. And like, I just like helping people like do the grunt work and the service. And like, I feel like with business owners too, they want people just to do it for them.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why the done for you model works so well. But I think we will probably raise our prices again soon just because I do like the clientele that we get with a higher price point. They kind of get it more. And I love the people who just like trust us to do what we do best and like don't, I guess, like try to redo all the work. Like I said earlier, like everyone thinks they're a great marketer. Like they just trust us. They trust the research we've done. They trust the scripts and they just trust the process.
Do you have any churn or do you have like any failures? I'm assuming it's like a little bit, but not much.
I mean, every agency has churn. And I think with content, organic content, it's something that takes time. So like when we have people churn, it's because of two reasons. One, they just don't want to wait. But like, remember how I was telling you, it took Carl and myself 3 months to get our first multi-million view viral video. Well, those changed our accounts and our businesses and our lives, but most people can't wait 3 months. With like when you're starting a new account and you need to consistently post. When you have like a bigger account, we can just study what already worked for you and do research based off that. Like we can grow you faster. But if you're starting from scratch, like people who aren't willing to wait, they might churn. And then also like the only part of our service that isn't done for you is the filming because it's their personal brand. So people who just don't end up filming.
Have you thought about doing the filming part for them? Or is that pretty logistically tough?
I mean, because it's their personal brand, like it just wouldn't make sense. Like, because it's more so like them just not wanting to be on camera. Or I guess sometimes it's them not having the time. But like, yeah, some people just like can't film. They just don't like it.
Interesting. I'm guessing it's a lot on the iPhone. I ran into a lot of people who were like, oh, like I need someone like a video crew around me all the time. I'm like, I don't think you would do well with that.
I film all my stuff on my phone. Yeah, even my VSLs. Like,
what I'm so impressed by you, just from a personal perspective, is like I have the worst shiny object syndrome ever, which is why I did a podcast because it was like how can I find out about people's businesses, like new ones all the time, just because I crave like this novelty. But like it's just so impressive that you just dialed it on this one thing and take nothing. Like, where do you get that from, you think?
Yeah, so I feel like every entrepreneur has ADHD, but I feel like there's two types where it's like one's kind of like shiny object and then the other one is like hyperfixation. And like I'm the type of person where I will eat the same things every day. I'll wake up at the same time every day. I will watch the same shows over and over again because I know them. I'll read the same books over again. Like I am just so used to like, I don't know, I hyperfixate a lot. And I think that's why, but also it scaled so big. So now I don't have any desire to like start anything else from scratch. I mean, in the future, yeah, that business would have been, but.
What kind of people do you look at for just general business advice, for mentorship, for social media, understanding virality? Like, who are you looking to there?
Yeah, I would say like business-wise, Hermosi, obviously. And then for social media, a lot of it is just like consumption, but scrolling intentionally versus like subconsciously. And then there's this one girl on Instagram, she's like, or on YouTube, she's kind of like a hidden gem. I feel like she does not get the credit she deserves, but she breaks down specifically YouTube content so well, but a lot of it transfers over to shorts. Her name is April Lynn Alter, and you should check her out. Like, she's insane. Like, her videos are so value packed, and it like motivates me to do the same with short form content. Like, when you watch her video, it's like the most valuable thing you've ever seen. I can't explain it. You just have to watch it.
Interesting. Do you have any like particular bits that you've learned from her? Or is it really just how she crafts the videos themselves that you're looking at?
Yeah, so I always understood the concept of outliers on people's page, but like she kind of came up with that term, and she does the exact same thing on just YouTube. And like, I'm like, and she talks about formats on YouTube all the time, and like all that stuff just transfers over to content. And like, I've always understood like the concept of formats and stuff, but like she kind of put it into actual terms. Mm-hmm.
We were talking about shiny object syndrome a minute ago. Like, what have been some of your shiny object syndromes you've had in the past year with this business? Like, I know TikTok Shop is really big. There's like softwares, you could do a course. Like, what have been some things that you've been tempted to do, but maybe just you haven't really thought about it?
I would say like, I'm pretty loyal to like, I'm like super loyal to everything, but this business I'm very loyal to. And like, I don't have too much of that, but I will say the only other thing I have kind of like wanted to do, but I know it will take time away, is like starting a YouTube channel about short form content. There's one person I really like. His name's Callaway. And he's like, I say in like the past few months, he's recently started posting, and he's already grown his channel like 60K. And he does it really well. And obviously April and Alter, who I mentioned earlier, like she does it so well. And like, I would love to do that. And I know it would probably get a ton of leads as well. Cause like long form, you just build a different type of trust with people. So I think it would work really well, but I don't know. I've also been advised by people like, oh no, you shouldn't do that. So I'm like, okay.
How about organizationally? Like, how do you organize your business to like scale?
Yeah. So I would say like, I know this is just so like scrappy, but Google Drive. We have all of our SOPs in Google Drive. We have all of our client scripts, our client videos, files. Like every client gets a folder. It has their unedited content folder, their edited content folder, their scripts folder. And then like, we do stories for some people too, like, and we'll just use ManyChat through that as well. So there's stories folder, and it's just like very neat in there. And we'll have like, in those folders will be like May 2025, March 2025. So it just all kind of like lines up. But yeah, pretty much Google Drive. And then softwares that I use would be like Go High Level for CRM, ManyChat, obviously. Pretty simple. Obviously like Google Drive, Gmail.
Do you have any advice for posting on social media? Like, do you make sure that people are in the US? Do you make sure it's like an iPhone posted at certain times, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So all of our account managers like are US based because of that reason. Because it's just for the best if the IP is in the US. And then I used to be actually like a huge proponent of manually posting because I always did like different split tests with like different third-party platforms, Meta, and then manual. And manual always outperformed. But then a month ago, I redid it with Meta, and it was the same. So everyone on my team loves me now because they don't have to manually post anymore.
That's good to know. My team will probably like that as well.
Yeah, I did like never trusted it. But like Meta, it was the same because I did it on my account too. I was like, okay, if I'm going to try it, I'll do it on mine. And it was the same.
Yeah, that was a big one for us on, I can't remember what platform specifically didn't work when the IP was outside of the US. Or no, it was like we would use a VPN, but the SIM and the iPhone wasn't from the US. I think it was YouTube and TikTok. It didn't work well, but Instagram and Facebook was fine. But now I just make sure it's all posted in the US, except for Facebook and Snapchat Spotlight, I think. But are you posting on Facebook pretty consistently?
Yeah, but I have like the automation set up. So if it just like, if you post on your Instagram, it will automatically post on Facebook.
Huh. Interesting. We set it up to where it's differently posted, but it's because you can put a link in the Facebook caption, which is like a huge conversion thing. She actually taught me that.
You know what? I'm just going to write that down really quick. Just give me a second. So what exactly do you do?
Yeah. So you can post on Facebook the link for whatever you're promoting. Like say it's this podcast, I could post a clip of us and I could put the link directly in the caption for it.
Okay. And that's like, is that a reel or just a post?
Either or. Okay. Yeah, can do reels.
Oh,
but It's
I'm gonna have
crazy.
to post that on Instagram and be like, hey guys, you can do this.
Yeah, and then you can also do pin comment on Facebook with the link in there, which is nice. You used to be able to do that on Shorts, but
can you get ManyChat to work on TikTok?
that's new. Yeah. As of like 2 months ago. I haven't set it up yet.
I haven't been able to get it to work, but I know it would like crush if I could.
Because no one's doing it, you know? That's what I was thinking about with TikTok Shop too. I wanted to launch like some low ticket product just to push my videos more. Because if you scroll on TikTok, I don't know your opinion on TikTok versus Instagram. I don't like TikTok anymore.
I don't like TikTok. I don't even use it.
Yeah, because you scroll and there's it's only like edits because they're trying to push CapCut, like CapCut templates, and then it's just TikTok Shop ads, and then it's sponsored post, and then occasionally you'll see like a viral video or like a normal viral video that's not an ad. But Instagram, it's like there's no ads on it, there's no shop. A big one too is I think they silence so many. This is just my opinion from like having a predominantly male audience. Like they silence so many conservative creators on TikTok and like anyone in the conservative politics side or like any like alpha masculine stuff that they all went to Instagram. So like TikTok is kind of girls and then Instagram is kind of guys. I don't know.
I agree with that. Yeah, but I think Instagram, this isn't a word, but I think Instagram is like TikTokifying itself. I think the value of a follower has decreased because I think more people treat the Reels tab like a For You page. And it's kind of getting like a little more like TikTok. I would think Instagram, your followers are way more valuable than they are on TikTok. Because on TikTok, people will follow you, but they only go on the For You page. So they won't like see you really ever again. But Instagram followers are a little bit more loyal, but I think the Reels tab is kind of turning into the For You page.
Yeah, I agree.
But I still think like Instagram all day, like will change your business. So yeah.
YouTube Shorts sucks. Not my personal opinion. I don't know.
Actually, I just hit 100K on my personal YouTube. Can't wait to get my plaque.
Nice. But yeah, the YouTube algorithm is so weird. It doesn't make any sense.
I do think too, like I've seen people ruin their YouTube pages from posting shorts and getting followers from shorts that like they won't watch their long form videos, so they won't get pushed out.
100%. I mean, me, the big mistake I made with this podcast is that I had a crime niche and then I didn't make a new channel. You probably saw that and were like, what is this guy doing?
No, my dad was like, so he's like into crime. And I was like, no, he used to do that. Like, it's not like that anymore.
Well, the goal of the podcast originally was to do famous crime cases of people, but I couldn't get anyone. So I just
switched it to business.
So it just became business. I was like, I'm more interested in business anyway. And then some videos started to work, but even my viral ones, like I have a couple podcasts with like 1 million views and all the viewers are old viewers from the crime channel, which is so strange. It's just people who so happen to watch that video. Yeah, YouTube algo is kind of strange. How important are Instagram stories? And do you have any like advice for Instagram stories?
Yeah, so I love Instagram stories. I think they're the best way for leads. And like you can be pretty salesy on stories because like your most loyal followers are going to be looking at your stories every single day. So if you post personal content and then also just social proof of results your product or service has gotten, before and after pictures not written, you will get leads if you just link your landing page or you put a ManyChat CTA on the story. So I would post a story a day with some sort of social proof or before and after or lead results of clients.
What's the most amount of money you've made from an Instagram story?
Oh, it's like very like, I would say 500 clicks a day is like what I get from stories to the landing page. And like, that's just so consistent. I don't know the exact metrics on what that converts into. We are setting up tracking right now, but that is one I should set up because I don't know.
But it could be maybe 3,000, 6,000 a day if those clicks led to one client, something like that. Okay. And then stories, do you have like an email list set up?
Yeah, but I don't really do it very often. I should do it. Like I should be better. I have an email list and for a while I did it like weekly, but I just kind of stopped writing emails.
Yeah. It's something that someone was telling me to do because it's a valuable way to own your audience.
It is. And I know I should do it. And the Hormozy team always says to do it, but I
do you collect emails on the landing page?
Mm-hmm. So for like some freebies, I will just link directly to like the freebie so they can get it right away. But for like the 1,000 hooks one, they have to opt in. So that's where we'll collect the emails.
Were you the person that made the video that it was like, it might've been someone else. It's like, here's how you set up a mini chat automation that makes them follow you first.
No, I haven't done that.
Gotcha. That was something I did recently that started converting crazy.
I had no idea that was a thing. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing this down too. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
I did that on the Hormozy when he collab posted me, and I was gaining
that video got like 3 million views, right?
So the original account, it was gaining like, it had 1 million in 2 hours. And he collab posted it, and then it started gaining me like 2,000 followers every like 10 minutes.
Wow.
And then the account got banned that day.
Oh.
And I was like, geez, that was so inconvenient timing. But
yeah,
I changed it. It used to be like collect an email for the newsletter, but I was like, I'd rather have people follow me.
Wow, I did not know that was a thing. So they just have to follow you and then they get the freebie or what?
Yeah, it's like, make sure you're following me so I can send this to you. And then
so it's like, is it like a button they have to click, or is it just like a message? And once they follow you, it will trigger. Yeah.
So it's, if they don't follow, it goes, make sure you're following me so I can send it to you. And then they click just followed after they do it, and then they get it.
And then if they already follow you, they get it right away?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That is so genius.
Yeah. That's been pretty helpful for us. But do you have any just personal curiosity, like ideas for marketing a podcast with short form content? Like, how would you be thinking about it?
I would do exactly what you're doing. Clipping, like collabing with the people, especially because of the like high caliber guests you have on.
How do you feel about the, I've been making, it was for my old page, but I've been making some content that's like, here's what Alex Hormozy taught me in 144 minutes, or like, this is what I flew to Vegas to see Alex Hormozy and here's what he told me. Like, do you think those videos are important for getting people to care about long form content, or do you think just the clips is what you would think about?
No, I would do a mix of both. But I mean, how many videos of those have you done in the past, and how have they done?
I've done like 5 or 6 marketing videos, and they all got like several 100,000 or like 1 million views.
Okay, if it's working, then just double down on it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if like, I think about congruency a lot. Like, people see this thing and they want more of this thing. So I'm like, how does me talking about doing a podcast make them want to watch it, I guess was my thought. But I don't know. I guess just a general question, like, how do you make people care about you, and like, how do you build like a cult on social media?
Yeah.
Or do you just think about it from, this is the video, convert to this funnel?
I would say, obviously, make valuable educational content. But like, if you look at Hormozy, for example, he like is just, or Leela, like they're just people, you get to love their personality and like all their little quirks. And over time, like you learn so much from them, and like you just know them for certain things. And that's kind of like how you make people love you. Just showing your personal, like your personality in your videos, just not being fake. Like the sweatsuits and stuff, like that's just my thing. And I think those little things just add up. But like you have to post for a long time, and you just have to be consistent with the things you do. But like, I think those little things that people notice, that just comes with like posting for years. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to think of a good example. Like there's this one girl in the fitness niche I love, because in her videos, she talks about like volume eating, for example, but she'll like post like, or she'll add little like meme, what are they called? Like sound effects within her videos, and it just makes it so funny. And like you can just tell she's a funny person. She has like a very strong Irish accent, and like I've only seen like 3 of her videos, but that made me follow her because I just kept seeing it. And I don't really follow many people, and like just those little things just made me like really like her personality, even though she was sharing the same advice as a lot of other people.
Do you think those things are important for making money though? Like the having different elements of your brand? I talked to Alex about this, and I was like, do you think it makes you more money that you talk about fitness and like your nutrition and what kind of clothes you wear? And he kind of hinted at, no, not really.
Yeah, because he used to post more about that stuff, but then he basically said he got the least amount of leads from that stuff. So I think really obviously focusing on your niche and your content, but adding those little things in within like videos about your main thing. So like I talk about Ben occasionally, but only in videos that primarily are talking about like what I do or business. Because I never want people to follow me just for Ben, because that's not what I post about.
How do you use AI and ChatGPT to go viral?
I would say the biggest mistake is using it to write your scripts. We'll see people doing that a lot. You can use it for research. I think it's great for research, but using it to write your scripts, I wouldn't recommend unless like you completely refine it after. But I think it's great for research, or for example, we'll do like clone videos where it's like you're comparing, like I said, like with Carl, the two franchises, and you're getting all the numbers, and it's like, okay, you have Burger King, you have McDonald's, you need to like, how much do you have to invest in each franchise up front? What's the first year of revenue look like? And all these things. You can just type in like a prompt and it will just give you that information right away instead of having to manually research it like on 50 different sites. So yeah, it makes research a lot faster.
How about you specifically for your business? Like what's been the most useful way you've used AI? It might be a similar answer, but like how do you use it on a day-to-day basis? Yeah,
so for copywriting research, but for editing, I think it's super helpful. And I think I'm excited for it to get to a point with editing where, you know, it will cut down the process and the time a lot more. Because I feel like editing still takes forever, especially with more customized editing styles. But auto captions, that was already a huge game changer, and that came out like years ago. So yeah, it's only been getting better, but I'm excited for the day where it can take over editing.
What does it do for you now? Just automatically cut the silences, or?
I would say like auto captions, and then some editing styles it can do, but you have to kind of refine it a lot after. But it's been helpful with that. But since like short form is kind of different, like I could see it in a long form podcast, cutting out all the silences or the ones that like automatically switch the camera to whoever's talking could be so helpful.
Yeah, that's how we've used it particularly. I'm kind of picky with it though and tell my editors to redo it. There's one called Autopod that's fairly good.
Oh, yeah, I have someone in the podcast niche and we literally just wrote a script about that, like how to use it. But yeah.
Interesting.
And like, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just, it's not great because I'm just picky about how I want it. I am too. I think about a lot of content from the emotional perspective. Like if I say something profound, I would have the camera cut to your face there, but the AI is not going to do that automatically, you know, because like the good content is in things that the AI can't pick up right now.
Yeah.
I wish there was prompts you could write, like edit this video and remove anything that's like emotionally uninteresting. And like, I wish you could pick up things like that. Or like remove everything about this topic, or remove like when they speak in this tone. That kind of stuff would be nice with AI. But have you played with any of like the Google VO stuff yet?
No, I haven't.
Gotcha. Yeah, I played with that yesterday or the day before.
What exactly is that?
It's the first AI that can make videos from prompts with speech.
Oh.
So I could like make a video of us talking on this podcast. It wouldn't look like us, but it could say things in a very conversational way. You used to be like, you could do that before, but you would have to like use different softwares, but it's the
like
first,
11 Labs and stuff.
Yeah. But it's the first time that you can like straight prompt to videos of people like interviewing each other or like talking about a product.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah. I'll have to show clips of it. It's really like realistic looking.
Yeah. I saw this video today and it was like so random. It's like a 2023 AI video of Will Smith eating spaghetti and then the 2025 version. And it's crazy like how much AI's improved.
What's one small detail in a video that makes a huge difference?
I would say getting to the value as quick as possible. Obviously, that kind of sounds so obvious, but a lot of times with short form content, people will say the hook and then they'll say like 4 other things and then they'll get into the value. Just get to the value straight away right after the hook. And then also, I guess, just some more little things. Making sure, like putting your script in Hemingway, which is just a site, and you can make it under a 5th grade level so a lot of people can understand it. And then also cutting out, like, kind of similar to my first point, but all the fluff. So every single unneeded word or sentence just cut out.
Why the 5th grade reading level?
Because people are stupid. Like, most people are stupid and they want to understand it. So just make it dumb.
And then why like 5th grade specifically though?
Because most people, like statistically in the US, are under 5th grade reading level. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, so you got engaged at 16. Do you think everyone should marry their high school sweetheart?
Oh, hell no. No. I just think I got so lucky with Ben. It's just so rare to meet someone young who is literally like the boy version of you, who loves business, who loves working out, who is also kind of introverted, who just has the same like religion, political beliefs, literally everything the same. So we kind of knew right away, like we did all this hard stuff together. We all had all the same values. We were each other's best friends. So it's like, who else would I ever marry in my life than Ben? So it just made sense. But I think if like you just like love each other or you're just attracted to each other, which that's like a lot of what high school relationships see, and you don't have like other things, then no.
What are the benefits of getting married so young?
I mean, a lot of people were like, why? But we were just kind of like, why the hell not? I don't think there's like specifically, I don't know, like special benefits about getting married young, but it's just like something beautiful about committing yourself to one person for the rest of your life. And just like knowing that, you know, I just knew from the start, obviously, that me and Ben were going to be together for life. But I think it was just such a rare situation. Yeah.
When did you first meet him?
14. He like was like the new guy at school, freshman year. So yeah, snatch that up.
It's so funny. It reminds me of my friend Bailey in high school. There was this new guy at school and she was like 14 and all the girls were talking about him and she's like, dibs. And then she like went up to him and they dated from age 14 all the way to like through high school. And then they got married like as soon as they got out of high school. And like
That's
she was
awesome.
just so like locked in on him.
Exactly the same.
What's something you had to unlearn about content that you used to think was true?
Gotta think on this one. Yeah, so I used to think that you had to make videos like complex. I guess, well, you're like sharing the value, but like you need to shove as much value as you can in a video. I used to think like you had to make content that was super, super high value that no other people were talking about. And you just got to dumb it down. Kind of what I was saying earlier, but you just don't want to make it complex. You don't have to sound super smart. Like when you're trying to do it, that's not the goal. The goal is to get the viewer to understand what you're talking about. So just way dumbing it down and not shoving so much value in a video, but just focusing on one concept and making it really easy to understand.
People don't care how smart you are.
Yeah, no one cares.
They just want to like get the value from the thing. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah, because we've had people come to us and they just want to speak in like their target audiences, like lingo, but they might not know the lingo. Or they're like, we have to make this for one person. But they're treating it like ads. This is organic social media. You have to be super broad so you can appeal to a ton of people, and then you niche in the CTA. But people are going a niche hook, so they're like, do you have back pain? And you're like, actually, no, that's not a good example. It's, you know, do you live in, you know, insert small town and you're whatever. Like, you don't want to do that. This is not an ad. Like, you want to start off very broad. They call it like the broad, narrow niche framework, a super broad hook to apply to a ton of people, narrow value that applies to your target audience, but also a big group of people, and then a niche hook. So, I mean, a niche CTA. So you're only getting your target audience as leads because that way you get high watch time. And if you niche it down, you're going to have no watch time because people are going to scroll. So that's probably it.
That's good. If we had to craft like the perfect video right now for a podcast, like I think it would be very helpful to the viewers to like actionably see what you might do. So let's just take it about your story. Like, what would be like the perfect question to ask you that like you think would be viral?
Probably something with a hook that was results based, which was like, if you had to go from 0 to 500K in 6 months, what would you do in like 60 seconds? And then I would break it down like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Very actionable, very tangible. And then that would probably be it. Just like a CTA to follow or something. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Let's try it for science purposes. If you had to go from 0 to $1 million a month, no. It'd be if you had to go from 0 to $1 million in 6 months, how would you do it?
Do you want me to answer?
Sure.
Okay. So it's going to be kind of repeat from what we talked about, but I'll just answer. Step 1, I would go to the Instagram Explore page. I would hit the search bar. I'd type in my niche, and then I would click the Reels tab, and I would save like 100 videos over 1 million views. Then I would, step 2, take the hooks from those videos and the value, or the general topic of those videos, and I would write 30 scripts basically with those viral hooks, but my own niche expertise as the value. I would post those videos every single day on one account, and I would just repeat that over and over again until I got my first viral video. And then I would, step 3, double down on that viral video, the hook that was used, the topic that was talked about, and I would just change the formats up, and I would just keep posting that, and you will grow.
Okay, so you were talking about followers. I was thinking you were talking about, was that about dollars? Or
no, it's followers.
Followers, okay.
That's what I would do for followers.
For 1 million followers, okay. Got it. Okay.
But I would add visuals to that. So like if I'm explaining the research process, like add a screen recording doing that.
Got it. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was interesting watching you do it because it was like,
yeah, it's like my unscripted. Like I'm so bad unscripted, I won't lie.
Same, honestly.
But that was like my 7.9 million view video.
Huh.
The hook was, what was it? Not to flex, but I'm pretty, I don't know if I can swear on this.
No, you can.
Okay, it was not to flex, but I'm pretty fucking good at social media marketing. And then the written hook was that what you just said, the hook for that. And then the value of the video was a step-by-step breakdown I just gave, but a lot better because it was scripted. And then a CTA.
So I might say, how are you so fucking good at social media? And that would be like viral.
Yeah.
What the cursing thing is really interesting.
Yeah.
I've noticed like a lot of your videos, you curse in the hooks.
Yeah. I won't lie. I swear like a sailor. I've been trying to be really good here because I didn't know and I wanted to be respectful.
You can cuss a lot. I assumed you were Christian, so you didn't curse
I am,
or something.
but like that is my one thing I'm like terrible at. Yeah, because like I just was with a friend group that started cursing when they were 12. So I've just been doing it for so long, but I'm trying to be better. But
so to break down like what you just did there, like it seems like your tonality and speeding, like the speed at which you said the words change. Like, do you try to get in things quickly?
Yeah, with shorts, you got to talk fast. And I always try, like with my tone, I call it like the know-it-all tone. That's kind of what I go for in my content. And it works really well. But I also need to talk fast, especially when you're giving a huge breakdown like that to keep it under 60 seconds.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of confidence, like that you're the authority.
Yeah.
Is that something you like worked on, or is it just kind of what you had naturally?
Yeah, it's definitely something I worked on, but like not really intentionally. When I first started content, I literally screamed at the camera. Like, cause I was just like, I didn't have a mic, so I was like talking so loud and it's terrible to look back at. But yeah, I think over time and just like because of the results I've gotten, I've just been a lot more confident and I just know what I'm saying is what works. Maybe
you won't be able to speak about all these, but what are some opportunities you've turned down on social media?
Yeah, the only thing I've ever promoted on social media was personal brand launch. Like probably are the same. I get so many emails about services, like big brands of just like ManyChat, Adobe, all like Whoop, the newest one. I think
the Whoop bracelet or WAP?
Oh, WAP, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iman Ghazi's new thing.
Yeah. All those I just turn down just because I know it will distract me. And I hate being like under someone else's control, like having to do stuff for other people that like the
Did
service
you do that
is
in
different.
the past?
No.
It's interesting that you know that because it's something I haven't really like thought
I did
about. But it's
one
like,
thing.
if you do brand deals, you kind of subjugate yourself to, oh, now I can't talk about these set of things if I want these to continue. Interesting. So it was never like your dream to be like influencer girl with all these sponsors?
Oh, no.
No.
I hate traveling.
You hate traveling?
Yeah.
Have you been like outside the US?
Yeah. I hate traveling. I'm such a homebody.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to travel a lot for podcasts. It's
I can
rough.
imagine. Because do you usually go out to guest? Because like, I mean, when you're
70%
talking
of
to
the
people
time,
like Andrew or like all these other people, you probably have to travel a lot.
Yeah, this is a logistically tough business. I think you would
I would hate it.
hate this business.
Interviews like with other, I don't.
Yeah, it's like always trying to like book like she's like, Jack, can we please book the hotel like 2 days in advance and the plane tickets at least 2 days in advance? I'm like, no, I can't get it until this guest says it in this wording that they're doing it. Like you can't even prepare the research until like, I don't know, until it's just a very obvious message that states they're going to do it and they have a time in mind. You know, someone like you, I was like, okay, this will be easy. Like she's going to be here on time. She'll probably be here earlier. Like,
I was actually here like 30 minutes ago, but I just sat in the car.
Funny enough, the earliest, the person who arrived earliest to the podcast ever was Andrew Tate.
Really?
Yeah, he arrived like 30, 45 minutes early before his team even got there. And we're like, bro, what are you doing here? Like, it's so confusing.
Wow, that's impressive.
But yeah, like everyone else is like so late.
Yeah, like difference between girls and guys.
We haven't had an extreme amount of girls. Like it's really just been Candace Owens, Layla Hormozi, and then the top two girls from Beast Games. Jenny Hoyos. You know Jenny Hoyos. She's like the YouTube
I actually
Shorts
watched
girl.
her episode with you. And I've known her before the episode that I watched. But yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah, I think every girl has been pretty on time. Yeah, that's never been an issue, actually.
I've noticed just like this might be controversial, but I do love working with girls and women specifically, just because they seem to have a lot more attention to detail and they care more and they're more personable. And like when I've worked with men in the past, they just end up getting let go because they don't care as much. And like the client doesn't like that. And I've had like girl and guy account managers, and I'm not opposed to hiring a guy account manager.
I would only hire girl account managers if I had your business.
Every single guy I've ever had as an account manager has gotten let go.
Interesting. Are there any roles in the company that are like guy specific usually? Probably the editors?
Sales. And editors. Sense. There are quite a few editors that are male. Yeah, for sure. I would say primarily male editors, but sales, I mean, we've had girls in the past, but we only had actually one, but she like lasted maybe a week and a half. But the guys, like, they just crush. I feel like they're so hungry. And since the commissions are in their control, like they control how much commissions they get, like how many people they close. So they're just so much more motivated. And I think they're really good at sales.
Yeah, the sales rep I spoke with from your company was really good. He like recognized immediately that I wasn't going to buy. And like,
it might have been Joe or Charles, or was it like an older man? Like maybe not older man, but like 40s.
I can't remember. I feel like it was on Zoom without his face, or maybe it was just on a phone call. But he just identified quickly that I wasn't buying and then stopped giving like the information about the program or something. And I was like, you're smart.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Was it hard for you to hire salespeople for the company, or did you just have a lot of experience with like doing over the phone sales for the real estate?
Honestly, I feel like sales is just one of the ones where you hire people who aren't super set in their ways. They're a little more, like you usually hire people who are more experienced at their skill set. But with sales, what's great about it is you can hire someone who hasn't really done it too much before, but they're hungry and they don't have all the bad habits that most sales reps have because they aren't trained right.
Do you guys have a fairly high close rate?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's average, like 40%.
I don't know if that's average. Is that average? I feel like that's particularly high.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, when I go to the workshops at Hermosi, like that's what they say. Like they will, whenever I tell them mine, or because like sometimes we'll talk more about sales, sometimes we'll talk more about marketing. But usually when we talk about sales, they say what I have is like pretty standard.
And that's like a warm lead or a cold lead? Or?
Warm. All of my leads are like very warm. People who've been watching my social media for probably months, at least.
And how do you filter that out?
What do you
mean? They go to VSL and did they get on the call immediately, or how does it work? So
my funnel is the ManyChat comment. They get DM'd the landing page. And then there is like a social proof on the landing page, kind of a process breakdown, benefits, results, all that stuff. And then they can book a call. And then after they book, there's a VSL before the call. What are like some things you definitely should not do on Instagram that people do to try and grow? Like buying followers, buying engagement? Oh my God, that will destroy your account. We have so many people who not so many people, but we've had a few that have bought followers and like it just destroys your account. Like if you buy it, just make a new account. Give up on the account because it will destroy your account. What are some other things that will hurt the account? We talked about posting outside of the US. Yeah, so like posting on a third-party platform, just to Instagram specifically, it just won't do well, even if it's a great post. Or I would say never fall for like the engagement hacks that you have to do. Like, oh, you have to engage 15 minutes a day, or you have to do XYZ comments after you post a video, or you have to post at XYZ time. All that's BS. Don't even listen. Let's see what else. I guess like just when you kind of what we talked about earlier, if you're in the fitness niche and you post a video about, I don't know, like your cat, it won't do well if your audience, like if you built up an audience for people who follow you for fitness. Does that matter on Instagram anymore though? I would say still yes, because like if I ever try posting social media stuff on my personal page, it just won't do well. Interesting. Yeah. What's one question you wish people would ask you about social media, but they don't? Probably, what do I not need to do? Because I think on social media, unfortunately, especially in my niche, like there's so many things that are promoted that you should do. Like so many things that people think they have to do to grow an account. Like I was talking about earlier, like engaging on social media and stuff like that. I think people should ask more about like what they can eliminate. I think because with our company processes, we always are trying to figure out like what we can subtract or automate to make our lives easier, because there's so much noise and so many fake things that you don't even need to do. And like there was like during my huge growth phase, I didn't even have time to go on Instagram at all. Like I wouldn't even engage on the platform. My assistant posted for me, so I wouldn't even be on it, and I still grew. So there's just probably what do I not need to do? That's a really good answer. Do you scroll on Instagram consistently to like always try to stay in the know of what's going on, or do you not find that important? I used to not as much, but now lately I have been. Especially like making that 1,000 hooks lead magnet, I guess that just changed everything. So now I kind of make it, I have on my literal like to-do list every single day, 20 minutes of intentional scrolling. And I will for like 20 minutes a day, but strictly for either to learn stuff and post stuff about content if I'm seeing like a trend or something that's working for business owners, or stuff that we can do for clients. Like, do you ever try to invent anything? Like new ideas, like nothing that's like technical, statistically proven to be an outlier? Yes. And sometimes it works. I would say, because like on my personal page, I got engaged at 16 wasn't something I studied, or that 50 million view video. That wasn't something that I studied. It was just something I had a really good feeling would do well because it's so controversial. Yeah, I've noticed a lot of my really big ones have been out of the box that I haven't seen anywhere, but it's usually taken from somewhere, you know, like you can usually tie back and be like, oh, I took it from this person. Like you probably saw this video. I had like
a compilation of guests saying good question. That's a good question.
Yes, I did see that video.
Yeah.
I think that's when I obviously knew about you, but I saw that video specifically, and that's why I followed your like original Jack account, like the Jack one.
What made you follow it? Just out of curiosity.
That video.
Just because like, you're like, oh, that's good marketing, or like, you're like, oh, he's had on these guests. Like, what made you? Well,
I've seen your face like a million times. And then I saw this really good piece of short form content. And whenever I see, like people with good content that I can also like use for myself as inspiration or for clients as inspiration, I'll always follow.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I asked, it's so funny. I talked about this. It's a really meta concept that after that video came out, all the guests started saying good question on the podcast.
I think I've already said it.
Yes, like at a really high rate. And then every single comment on my videos were like, dang, this guy asked good questions. Like people would say to me in person, like, bro, your podcast is great. Like you ask such good questions. I'm like this didn't used to happen. It's like you're literally influencing people's opinions. But.
You know what I've noticed about you is like, you're very neutral on podcasts. Like I feel like you're very calm and like you don't force your opinions on people, or you don't judge people for what they say or anything, which I feel like is rare because people always want to talk and always want to like influence, I guess, their opinion on people's answers. But I really like you as a host for that reason.
I appreciate that. Yeah, that's been a really intentional decision.
Yeah.
Like we haven't hosted some of our past controversial guests a second time because we didn't want to fall too much into a niche. But yeah, I think there's a lot of power in being neutral. I think it creates better content if people feel comfortable that this person, like, you don't know if I'm like have certain political beliefs, but you know that I talk to a lot of people with a lot of different types of ones.
Yeah. Actually, I have a question about one of your guests. You don't have to add this in, but you did the one, I forget his name. He's like the very religious one.
Cliff and Stuart Connectly.
Yeah. I listened to that. I really enjoyed that. That was like one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're really great.
They're so like, I just love how they always reference like the Bible and stories, and yeah.
That was a tough one. It's so funny with podcasts that like the amount of preparation you do for each one is so vastly different. Like something like this, since you didn't have many interviews and I already understand social media a bit, like it's less prep required than Cliff and Stuart, which is study the entire history of the Bible and Judaism and Islam and like cross compare everything and then come at them with questions, or like, I don't know, Robert Greene we're having on next week, like 48 Laws of Power. And it's like, read all of his books ever, and then like study all the historical figures who've used it. It's a really funny one.
Yeah, especially like people like Hormozy, because like if you don't consume his content or his books, like there's so much out there that you'd have to.
That was tough too.
Yeah.
Him and Tate, like I watched every podcast they've been on to make sure there was stuff they hadn't heard.
Yeah.
Hormozy's the hardest person to interview ever, by the way. Because the way he thinks, it's like, I'm like, would your businesses have been more successful if you prioritized your relationship sooner? He's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it. Like he won't think about anything in the past, and then he's like, that word doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I listened to that episode. That was funny. There was just like some of those like very short answers and you're like, okay, next question.
Yeah.
I did like how you like switched up the last question, and I'm pretty sure that's a reel that did well for you.
Yeah, that was the one they collab posted.
Yeah.
That was doing pretty well.
Because even before this, I like made it a daily habit to listen to your podcast at the gym. So I like have my notes app and I just have random facts about you. I studied you before I came here too.
I've never had anyone do that. Yeah, I think one other person who was CIA said they watched the podcast. That's pretty rare, actually, that people are like, oh yeah, I've been watching it. Why shouldn't you copy big creators?
Because people will know. Like you see copycats of like huge people in every single niche. And think about how embarrassing it is for people to see that video that you created and be like, oh, this is just a copy of XYZ. Like copy the hooks because those work and they probably copied hooks too. But make sure your value is different, because if you are just copying other people, then you don't really know anything. Or you don't look like an authority. And if one person sees you copy a video, you are like ruined. Your reputation is ruined in their mind forever. They won't trust anything you say because they'll just think it's copied from another person.
How many people should you copy for one video? Should it be like 5 different things from 5 different people? How do you think about that?
I always recommend, like, if you're posting as a business owner, some of that value and education should just be from your own personal experience and the results you've gotten. But obviously, if you're like an educator on like a crime, for example, like what you kind of used to do, you don't make that up. That's just like based off of resources. So I would just say multiple, at least 3, if you're making like a short about it. But also just because if you're doing like something like a crime, there's going to be so much different information everywhere. So you kind of need to cross-check things anyway. What
inspired you to do your niche? Was there anyone in particular doing it at the time at a high level?
Oh, I would say there's people like who like specialized in Instagram growth, but it wasn't necessarily like short form content based. But I love it. It's so interesting to me, and I love marketing in general. Like I love people like Russell Brunson, a huge fan of him, and anyone who just talks about funnels and how that works. So I think it was just an appeal to the niche. But yeah, it kind of just all started from just posting shorts as well.
Did you go to his events back in the day?
No, I was too young.
Yeah.
And fair. Now, like, does he do events anymore? Probably Funnel Hacker.
So. Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
I don't use ClickFunnels or anything, but I used to.
You use Go High Level?
Yeah, I use Go High Level now.
Who's that made by?
I have no idea, but it's really good for like agencies.
What's one part of your childhood that you feel is really important to understand you and who you are today?
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about loyalty so far. And I think growing up, I grew up surrounded by men who lied, cheated on their partner, watched porn, and had wandering eyes. And I grew up surrounded by women who accepted it and said, Ava, that is just what men do. Ava, that's just a guy thing. And I refuse to believe that shit. Like men are in control of what they do. And I think growing up surrounded by people like that, it just made me really, really know that I could never be with a partner who does those sort of things. And there's this verse in the Bible. It's like, but if he looks at another woman lustfully, he's already committed adultery in his heart. If your right eye causes you to stumble, gouge it out and throw it away. For it is better for you to lose one part of your body than have your entire body thrown into hell. If your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better for you to lose one part of your body than have your entire body thrown into hell. And it's basically saying that mentally lusting after someone and physically being with someone and kind of doing those acts while you still have a partner, they're all cheating. There's not like certain levels, one's not worse than the other. It's all cheating. And I think we live in a society today where there's just so much access. So you're really able to see, it's like a blessing and a curse, because you're really able to see with all that access, like who is truly loyal and like.
And where do your morals come from? Like, have you always been religious from a young age?
Yeah. So my parents are amazing, by the way. Like, they raised me to be, I had older parents. They had me in their 40s. So they're older, and I think them just being wiser when they raised me definitely helped with who I am now. But they were always very consistent with things like church. I obviously had like a rebellious phase when I was like 13, 14. But I like didn't want to go to church. My church was boring. But now I'm like very dedicated. Every Sunday I'm there.
Christian, Catholic, or?
Lutheran.
Lutheran. Okay.
But I'm not like, I could be any. But
yeah.
I just go to a Lutheran church.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then you grew up with sisters, brothers, or?
Yeah, I have an older sister.
Got it. Is she like on a similar entrepreneurial path, or is it?
She's like, we're kind of like equal opposites. She's redhead. We look nothing alike, but she is very dedicated, but when it comes to school, like 4.0, straight A's, graduated with honors. She just graduated college this past in May. So, but she's like going to be the best employee. Like she is just, I want her, but I know she'll never work for me.
Very similar situation with my sister.
Yeah.
She's about to graduate college. She's like becoming like a doctor of neuroscience, but like,
wow.
I wanted her to work for me when I was like 18, 19, like to be a writer for the Crime Channel. Cause she's the only person that can write like me. I think like genetically speaking, like it makes sense that she can kind of like think like me. But we just clash super hard. But what's your take on college as a 20-year-old that makes $700,000 a month?
I mean, personally, I hire based on experience, not a degree. If you have results, that is all I care about. And the best companies, actually, I would say bigger companies care about college, like Google, Amazon, but I would say a majority of businesses don't care about that. They care about results that you've generated. And then personally, I think if you're not getting a degree, like if you want a job that doesn't need a degree, then don't go to college. But if you want to be a dentist or a vet, go to college. But anything else, just start right when you graduate so then you can fail and live with your parents until you succeed. And you'll have all those 4 years just to fail, and you'll eventually succeed. But I think college is a waste of time and money if you're not using the degree you get.
Finding success at a young age. I spoke to Aman Ghazi about this, and he said that the one regret he had was...
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
Just kind of like never got to experience going to parties and like having friends and that kind of thing. Has that never really been a concern for you? And just if you knew that you were guaranteed success at an older age, do you think you would have lived differently when you were younger?
Before I got together with Ben, I kind of had that phase of, I wouldn't say to the extent you would have in college because I was still pretty young, but just not doing the best stuff, or just being too young to do certain things. But I kind of had that like party phase, and I just looking back am, I wouldn't say ashamed, but I'm just not proud of her. And I wouldn't really want to be her. So it just depends, like, if, drinking and doing that stuff is like what you think you'll look back on and that will be the good old days for you, then yes, go to college, do your thing. But I don't know. I personally think I probably have such a niche opinion on it. So most people probably wouldn't agree, but I don't want my life to be, I don't want to ever be like that again.
What's like the part of your life that you're like most look forward to every day, like in your routine? Is there like anything that's super exciting for you, or is there anything like upcoming that you and Ben are doing that you're really excited for?
Yeah, I would say I have two parts of my day that I love. I love working in the morning, drinking my coffee, being alone, and just like getting to do what I love. I think that's my favorite part of the day. And then I love after work, just hanging out with Ben, and whether like we're hanging out or I love to read. That's like my one like guilty pleasure. I will read all the time, not like business books, like just like regular books. And I just love reading. And there's this thing, it's called BookTube or like Book Talk or Book Instagram, where people just talk about books. I love that. Yeah, that's my thing. But anything with Ben, and I would say like, this might sound depressing, but like, I just have like very few friends. Just have a couple like, maybe I wouldn't even like, there's friends from high school that now go to college that like we'll hang out maybe 3 times a year. And those are like my friends, but like my true one friend is just Ben. But I love Ben and I only need Ben. So
do you give a lot of merit to IQ and success level when it comes to social media or business? Like, have you done IQ test?
Honestly, no.
Really? Like Alex and Layla would say they don't consider IQ that important, but I'm curious if you like think about it with your relationships, if it's important for you to be a successful entrepreneur.
I would say it's more just about like the person, their morals, and just basically when you look at someone, never believe what they say, just believe their actions and the results they've gotten people and what they do daily. And that's what I judge people by. And that's how I also hire people. So like you're not allowed to ask in interviews, do you go to the gym? But that's illegal. But you can ask them like, oh, what are your hobbies? Like, what do you do day to day? Stuff like that. And you can just see based off of that, like what kind of person they are.
That's a really good piece of advice. Yeah. For interviews, what other things do you ask that have been like golden questions?
Yeah. So something I have done for a very long time, which I love, it's not necessarily a question, but I do tests. So for like copywriting positions or editor positions, we'll just do paid tests. After we'll do like the application, we'll do a paid test. And then if they pass that, we'll do culture fit interview.
What kind of test?
Just like if it's an editor position, we'll have them edit a short for the test.
Okay. You mean, yeah, gotcha. Mm-hmm. I thought you meant like personality test, but you mean like kind of like a trial.
Like a literal test.
Yeah. Okay.
And those work super well just to weed people out. Because some people, I can easily spot it now, but they'll just use ChatGPT on their application. So then they don't actually know anything. So you can see with tests and weed people out really well. So that is my best hack.
How do you know if someone is using ChatGPT when messaging you something?
Here are the phrases. Here's the truth. Skyrocket. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of all like the terms you hear when ChatGPT writes something. But here's the secret. It just says like, I can now recognize like how it talks and like how it words stuff. Or like things like the double dash.
Double dash is classic.
Yeah. Like I see that in applications all the time, immediately skip.
It's unfortunate because I use the double dash in my writing. And then now I'm like, damn it, people think I'm using ChatGPT.
Yeah, we had an issue with that. Clients were thinking that and we were like, oh my God, shoot. So in our SOP, it says no double dashes.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was something I was going to ask you about, but I didn't want to make you look bad. It's like, can this all just be automated with ChatGPT or is it like actual grunt work? I mean,
it's all grunt right now. If one day it would be as effective, yes, that'd be great. But right now it's just not.
I've never been able to successfully train ChatGPT to write how I write.
Yeah, me neither.
I was able to at first when it came out, like fairly well. And then it just got worse over time. Like I noticed ChatGPT, like, I don't know. It was like it had too much. I don't know. I think they dumbed down the model, honestly, to make them more money. Probably makes sense.
Maybe.
But who's the most impressive person you've ever met?
Probably Alex Hormozi in person.
And you've never observed anyone aside from Alex, perhaps, that actually...
No one I've met. If we're talking about, like, the question was, have you ever met, someone or seen someone like that? No, I haven't, besides Alex. I haven't personally talked to Leela, but I bet she's the same way.
She definitely was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was interesting meeting those two, for sure. They're very different, but...
They work well together.
Yeah, I think a lot of people assume they have different beliefs for some reason, but it's all pretty much the exact same stuff.
Yeah, I think they have the same beliefs, and then their skill sets, obviously, if you listen to both of their episodes with you, they're both about very different kind of parts. Like he's obviously the visionary, and then, she kind of implements. But like they just were, obviously that works perfectly together.
And then I guess last question here, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Treat everybody like they're an undercover Jesus. You'll notice how much better and kinder you are to people.
Treat everyone like they're an undercover Jesus. Where did you hear that?
Some religious person online. I don't remember who exactly, but all I know is little advice sticks, but that really has. Because I used to just be the type of person who would never compliment people, like strangers, never compliment strangers. I would just put my head down if I was walking past someone so I didn't have to smile. But it's definitely changed the way I even handle like little interactions day to day.
How else have you found it useful? Yeah.
I would never say like I was ever a mean person. Like I'm always kind of a people pleaser, but I find now that I'll go a lot more out of my way to make people on my team or Ben or just anyone I interact with, like just treat them better and leave the best impression I can. I can't explain it. Just treat everyone like they're an undercover Jesus. It'll change your life.
Well, everyone, this has been your guest, Ava Jurgens. Where can people find you really quick?
Personal brand launch on Instagram or Ava Jurgens on Instagram and pretty much all other platforms.
This is the Jack Neel Podcast. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.